Hey y'all, it's Shamika Dean, the Queen of Restoration, your real, raw, and relatable relationship and purpose coach. Come on in the room this afternoon. So you just gonna be loud with your truck like that? You see me outside on my video? So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Hey, Rhonda. This is your real, raw, and relatable relationship and purpose coach. Giving you the real, because I try not to talk about things that, I haven't been through, I haven't overcome, or that I'm not going through right now. I'm raw because I give it to you straight talk, no chaser. So with that being said, I kind of know like I'm not for everybody, but that's okay, because I am for the ones who want the real truth, who don't want anything sugar coated, and who want some real solutions to their situation. So, and I'm relatable because I try not to, I don't talk over your head or under your neck. I meet you right here in the eyes so that you can take what I'm giving you and apply it. So as you're tuning in, make sure you share this video. We got a good topic today, so I want to go ahead and address that. And also to tell you that, again, Coffee and Cupcakes Conversations with Wives and Future Wives is going on tour. Yes, somebody type tour in the comments, because we are going on tour. First stop is Detroit, Michigan, December 2nd. And we also have just confirmed Houston, Texas. So I'm excited about that, y'all. This thing is blowing up. It's doing things in ways that I didn't expect it to do. And it is also centered around my international selling book, Positioning Yourself to Be a Wife. So if you haven't already gotten a copy of that, I urge you to do so. You can check out the reviews on Amazon. They are good reviews. They are from real people who really purchased and read the book. That's why it says, verified purchase. So I'm excited, y'all. So hey Kenya, hey Michelle. All right, good. Hey Kiana, Devonna, Shawanda, Nakia, Brittany, Shamika, Tramika, Jeanette. I see y'all tuning in, so I just want to say thank you so much. Hey Selena, hey Teresa, hey Hadassah. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this video today. Thank you for the hearts. Yes, give me some hearts, some thumbs up. And again, make sure you share this video. All right? Y'all with me? Let me know if y'all can hear me and all that good stuff. All right, there you go. Hey, Osha. Hey. I saw my husband just give me a heart. Hey, boo. Hey, my king. Love him, y'all. Love him. Oh, and I am rocking a Godly Wives t-shirt from the one and only Miss Meek Morgan. Y'all support her. She also deals with relationships and things like that. So make sure you support her. Very good quality t-shirt. I like it. It's very light, but it's also very comfortable, and it fits just like I like it. Just like I like it. So Meek Morgan, I interviewed her last week. Last week I interviewed her. So again, Meek Morgan, M-E-E-K. Her name is Shamika, actually. So today we are talking about how to love someone who's hard to love. And I was one of those people, very hard to love. I talked about this in my book, how I had been through so much in my past and had endured so much pain from past relationships and childhood, until when love was staring me right in the face, I didn't know how to receive it. Okay, I was very suspicious. I sabotaged a lot of relationships and didn't really understand that the real issue was that I didn't know how to be loved. I didn't know how to let someone love me. And my husband was the one who pointed that out to me. We were sitting on the couch, and my husband is a very affectionate man. So we were sitting on the couch, and he was just hugging me, and subconsciously I just, kind of pushed him off, and he did it again, and I pushed him off again, not really thinking anything of it. It was just really like a knee-jerk reaction. And so I remember him saying to me, he grabbed me and he hugged me really tight, and he looked at me, looked me in the eyes, and he said, "Would you just let me love you?" Yeah, he said, "Would you just let me love you?" And so in that moment, I just said, I don't know how. I didn't realize that I was so broken until that when love was staring me in the face, I didn't know how to receive it. I had no idea what love was, because, I had dealt with so much hurt in the past until anybody that really tried to get close to me, or anything that remotely reminded me of something in the past that caused me hurt, that knee-jerk reaction was to automatically reject it. Automatically reject it. So y'all continue. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. But you know, so when a person has experienced so much pain in their lives, and they've been hurt by those who once said that they love them, it's very, very difficult for that person to receive love. Okay? Yes, the spirit of rejection. It's so hard for them to receive love, because everything that they've associated with love in the past has brought them some type of heartache and some type of pain. And so when you're dealing with people like that, the first thing you got to do in knowing how to love someone who seems to be unlovable, because the reality is that it can be hard to love somebody who's dealt with the spirit of rejection, who's dealt with heartache. It's very, very difficult to get close to them. It's very difficult to tear down those walls that they've been, you know, that have been built up all these years. It's very difficult to get past those layers, because what they're doing is, while they are trying to protect themselves from being hurt, so they put up those walls, and they fail to realize that while they're trying to protect their heart and trying to keep themselves from getting hurt, they're really just preventing themselves from being healed, and they're shutting the door to what they really, really want, which is to be loved unconditionally. And to be loved unconditionally means that you have to be vulnerable, means that you have to share your weaknesses with someone, means that you have to let them into those places that you really don't want to let them into, because you're still wounded. There's still an unhealed wound there. So but again, in order for you to receive love, you've got to put yourself in a vulnerable position, which means that you have to trust somebody. All right. And that's one of the most difficult things to do, is to trust somebody once you have been hurt. Y'all share this video, share while you're tuning in. And I do see the others tuning in as well. So we're going to just, you know, I'm going to kind of talk about that with you all today, so that you can get some understanding. Now, before I get into giving you, you know, some tips, tools, and strategies on how to love someone who's hard to love, I want you to understand this. You cannot have the mindset of, this is just how I am, and they're just going to have to accept me for who I am, because this is the reality. Your healing is your responsibility. All right, type that in the comments. Your healing is your responsibility. Okay? And it is not someone else's responsibility to tear down walls that another person has caused you to build. It's not someone else's responsibility to tear down walls that they didn't build. And it's not their responsibility to to be wrongfully imprisoned, or to be wrongfully punished because of what someone else has done to you. So let's get that out there before I get into the rest of the video. You got to understand that if you have made up in your mind that this is just how I am, and they have to accept me the way that I am, or, you know, just as I am, means that you're saying, I'm not willing to take responsibility for my healing, and I'm not willing to do what I need to do so that I can receive the love I've been praying for. I'm going to say that again, because I want y'all to really hear me on this, and hear me well. And again, I'm talking from a place of experience. This is no textbook stuff. This is real stuff. So it is your responsibility. Okay, it is your responsibility to heal. It's not their responsibility to tear down walls that they didn't build. Type that in the comments. It's not their responsibility to tear down walls that they didn't build. Okay, so when you get to that place where, again, you say, well, you know, this is just how I am, what you're saying is, I'm not willing to put in the work to do what I need to do to get what I've been praying for. I'm not willing to put in the work and do what I need to do to get what I've been praying for. Because again, your healing is your responsibility. So I wanted to really just drive that point home, because I want y'all to understand that we cannot continue to point fingers at other people. We cannot continue to put our healing and our power to heal into the hands of somebody else. Okay? All right? Yes, not their responsibility to tear down walls they didn't build. Okay, so, but let's get back to the topic. How do you love someone that's hard to love? First things first is understanding. You're never going to understand where they're coming from if you've never been where they've been. Okay? You're never going to understand where they're coming from if you haven't been where they've been. And in order to have an effective strategy in any situation, you've got to get understanding. So type this in the comments. With all your thine getting, get an understanding. Okay? I want y'all to type that because I love interaction. So if you've been on here, you kind of know how I flow. But with all thine getting, get an understanding. Okay? If you have somebody that is like every time you're trying to love them, they continuously push you away. They push you away, but in one breath they say, I just want somebody to love me for who I am. I just want someone to love me, unconditionally. Then you got to get an understanding as to why they keep rejecting the very thing that they say that they are praying for, the very thing that they say that they want. Get an understanding. And the way you're going to get understanding is by communication. So when you're asking questions, making sure that you're listening and not just waiting for a response, but listening to them so that you can understand why they act the way that they act. Okay? Why they act the way that they act. So that's the first thing that you've got to do. And the next thing is that don't identify them by their shortcomings. Okay? Don't identify them by their shortcomings. Type that in the comments. Don't identify them by their shortcomings. And this is what I mean by that. If you have a person that, they may act mean, or they may act stubborn, or whatever the aftermath is of what they've been through, don't identify them as that. So don't call them, oh, you're just mean, oh, you're just hateful, oh, whatever label it is that you've been putting on them. Don't identify them by their shortcomings. And this is why, because when you come into agreement with that, then what you're doing is you're giving it power to manifest here on earth. The Bible says where 2 or 3 touch and agree upon on earth, it is established in heaven. So what you do when you come and you begin to identify them as that, then what you're saying, you're giving the enemy more power to keep them in that place of stronghold. Okay? You're giving the enemy power to keep them in that position of stronghold where the yoke cannot be destroyed. It cannot be broken. Because instead of you calling those things and speaking those things that be not as though they were, you're calling them for exactly what they look like. I'm going to let that register. Instead of you speaking those things that be not as though they were, you're calling them for exactly what they look like. And that means that you are not speaking change into the atmosphere. You're not speaking change into the atmosphere. You're just continuing to come into agreement with who the enemy has called them to be, who he has assigned them to be on this earth. So they're not able to break free from it because you're not speaking the change into the atmosphere. Okay? And the next thing is that I want to cover is speak to their healing and not to their hurt. Speak to their healing and not to their hurt. See, we get so caught up in pacifying the pain. Now, allowing them to tell you what's going on and really acknowledging, what the root cause of it is, that is one thing. But when you begin to speak to their hurt and not their healing, again, you're leaving them stuck in the very place that they are trying to come out of. Speak to their healing and not to their hurt. That's the next one, okay? Because again, you want to make sure that you are not leaving them in the very place that they're trying to come out of. Yes, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. because we know that there is power in our words. There is life or death in the power of the tongue. So whenever you want that person to heal, if a person struggles with, lying, if a person struggles with adultery, if a person struggles with fornication, then you got to speak to their healing. You got to call them who God says they are. You got to declare them healed. You got to declare that they have been set free from bondage. You got to declare and decree that the yokes on their lives have been destroyed, because otherwise you're continuing to speak to their hurt and they don't have an avenue and a path to heal. Okay? And the last thing that I want to talk about is unconditional love. Unconditional love. See, when you love somebody, you're not going to identify them as someone who's hard to love. All right. You're going to start asking God for strategies on how you can help that person heal. God, how can I pray for them where they are in this situation? What is the root to their issue? What is the root to their issue, so that I know how to strategize my prayers, so that I can help them come out of that thing? Because if God called us by our pain, if he called us by our sin, we would never be free. We would never be healed. We would never be who we're supposed to be on this earth. But he doesn't call us sinners, because we've been saved by grace. And so when it comes to unconditional love, one of the things that you got to do is to not again, identify them by their sin, and also put yourself in that person's shoes. If you were them and you were dealing with the hurt and you were dealing with the pain that you were struggling to get over, how would you want someone to handle you? How would you want someone to handle you? If you were dealing with the hurt, with the struggle, and you know that for years you've been trying to come out of that thing, how would you want someone to handle you? See, a lot of times we say, we want people to walk a mile in our shoes, but we don't take the time to put our feet in theirs. We don't take the time to put our feet in their shoes. So we try to rush them through their healing process. Oh, you should have been over that. You should have been over that. You still dealing with that? But we got to understand that the depth of the wound determines the amount of time that it takes for them to heal. See, what may take you a year could take them several years, because their wound is deeper. Because the wounds that we experience hurt us depending on the type of relationship we have with the person that caused the hurt. So if a stranger on the streets called me, out of my name, it really wouldn't affect me. But if my husband called me out of my name, it would affect me in a deeper way. Why? Because of the relationship that I have with him. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to understand that their healing process, may not be the same as our healing process. And as long as they are being intentional about their healing, and you can see that they're putting forth the effort, then you got to offer them that unconditional love. You got to offer them that same unconditional love, that same grace, that same mercy that, that is continuously extended towards you. Because the truth be told, at some point in your life, when you've dealt with hurt or when you've dealt with your own issues, it was hard for somebody to love you. But what they did was they say, you know what, that person is worth it. They're worth me loving them. They're worth me going to war on their behalf when they can't go to war, for themselves. They're worth it. So guess what? I'm going to stay in this thing with them. I'm going to speak to their healing and not to their hurt. I'm not going to identify them and call them by their sin or by their shortcomings. I'm going to try to get a real understanding of why they're acting and reacting the way that they're acting. And the last thing is this. You got to know how to love them. Some of us miss the mark and we think that we're really loving somebody, but the reality is we're only looking for them to reciprocate something that we're pouring out to them, failing to understand that we have not loved them in a way that they receive love. See, everybody's love language is different. So while you may be trying to shower me with gifts and you may be trying to shower me with gifts and I'm not receiving that as love, that's because that wouldn't be my love language. My love language may be words of affirmation. My love language may be acts of service. My love language could be physical touch. My love language could be quality time. So you got to know how to love that person so that when what they are receiving from you, they know that it is love because you're loving them effectively. You're loving them effectively. So, for instance, words of affirmation is not my love language. So, not that I'm not appreciative of it, but it's not my love language. My love language is gifts and acts of service. That's my love language. Physical touch is not my love language. So when people touch me, sometimes, I'm not very, just so y'all know. So don't just run up on me and I might just, So, but you got to know how to love them. But what happens is we try to love people the way that we receive love. We try to love others. I hate when that chapstick does that. We try to love others the way that we receive love, and then we fail to realize that we missed the mark with them. And another thing is this. Most of the times, our love language is what we feel we were deprived of as a child. Yeah, you can hug me, but I'm just saying, don't catch me off guard. Like, have a conversation with me first. Let's talk a little bit. Right here, because, I be trying to tell people, I'm saved, but my hands ain't, so, I don't want to reach out and touch somebody, amen? No, I'm just playing. No, but seriously, we try to love people, the way that we receive love, and so we miss the mark, and we don't understand why they're not receiving what we're pouring out as love. So you got to understand how they receive love, okay? That's the way that you're really going to be able to love a person. And you may feel like, man, it's hard to love them. But make sure that you ask yourself, am I loving them the way that they receive love? Is this their love language? Because if you love them the way that they receive love, then they're going to recognize it as love. Okay? So that's all I have for y'all today. I have another video that I want to do since it's Mogul Minded Monday. I have another video. I'm going to try to do it today, but I don't want to tie it into this one because they are two completely different topics. But again, as you're tuning in, make sure that you share this video and invite others to watch it. And again, coffee and cupcakes, y'all. Detroit, Michigan. Okay? Okay, that's a good question, Stephanie. She said, how can we learn their love language if we don't know it? Pay attention to their signs. If you're touching on a person and they don't really receive that as love, then physical touch is not their love language. If you compliment them and their eyes light up, then that means that their love language is words of affirmation. Okay? If you go in and clean up the house for somebody, or you go and wash your mate's car and they're like, man, thank you, that's because their love language is acts of service. All right? If they keep asking you to go to the store with them, or they're asking you to just, hey, come catch a movie with me, then most of the times their love language is probably quality time. Okay, so if you're touching on somebody and they, kind of lay their head on you, you know that physical touch is their love language. Or if they always ask you for things like, man, give me a massage, or when you're around and they grab your hand, physical touch is their love language. So those are some of the signs. But if you don't know what their love language is, you can take a quiz or have them to take a quiz as well. The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It's a free quiz and it is online. It is available online for free. So that's a quiz that you can take and you can have them to take as well. So those are just some of the ways that you can identify what their love language is. All right. But again, if you're just kind of studying them and you're paying attention to them, then you'll know you can pretty much tell what their love language is by what they respond to, what they, when you try to show them love a certain way, and how they respond to it will tell you if it is their love language or not. Okay. Hey, Destiny. All right. So again, share this video. Thank y'all for the hearts, the thumbs up, the love. Y'all listen too. That's what I love about y'all, because I get inboxes all the time and y'all are like, oh, when you said this on the video, or you will repost a quote, that I've said on the video. So I thank y'all for listening and paying attention and taking heed to what I'm saying, and all that good stuff. But again, I just thank y'all so much. I really do. I appreciate the continued support and the love, and I love y'all. That's it. I mean, I do. Like, I really do. I really love y'all. So they just gonna ride by with the loud truck like that. They're so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you. So share this video. I'm probably going to upload it on YouTube as well, because it's a good topic, and someone brought it to my attention earlier about what I said on another video. So I just wanted to make sure that I covered it, because I thought it was God just confirming, yeah, you need to talk about that one today. So again, Coffee and Cupcakes, y'all, is going to Detroit, Michigan, December 2nd, and we will be in Houston, Texas. Okay, Houston, Texas in April. Not sure of the date. To you too, Kenya. Not sure of the exact date in Houston, but Houston, Texas. So y'all be on the lookout. I'll have flyers coming out this week. Event registration and all that stuff will be set up again. And go to my website, check it out, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, y'all. Okay, it be lit on YouTube. Oh my God. Yeah, my daughter said I can't say lit, so I'm not gonna say it again. But yeah, so subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Shamika Dean. Okay, I love y'all so much, and I'll talk to you again soon. Mwah.